Hello, and thank you for joining us today at the College of Engineering Town Hall. My name is Eugene Subert, and I'm a junior here at the University of Washington. I'm currently majoring in electrical engineering. I'm also the Vice Chair of the Student Advisory Council for the College of Engineering, a member of the Electrical and Computer Engineering Student Advisory Council, and also a clinical laboratory technician at the UW Medicine's COVID testing lab. First, I would like to say that the University of Washington acknowledges the Coast Salish peoples of this land, the land which touches the shared waters of all tribes and bands within the Squamish, Tulalip, and Muckleshoot nations. The topics that will be addressed today will reflect the questions that were submitted ahead of time by guests. I'm also joined by my fellow student, Jan Silva.
Thanks, Eugene. I'm Jan, and I'm also a junior studying electrical engineering. On campus, I'm a lead engineering peer educator, and I'm also part of two research teams, one in the ECE department and one with engineering innovation and health. Now I would like to introduce our lovely speakers for today, starting with Nancy Allbritton. Nancy Allbritton is in her second year as a Frank and Julie Jungers Dean of the College of Engineering. She's a bioengineer who joined the University of Washington from a joint appointment at University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill and North Carolina State University. Next, I would like to welcome Dan Ratner in his first year as the Associate Dean of Academic Affairs. He is also a professor of bioengineering. And now to you, Eugene.
Thanks, Jan. For our other two speakers, there is Ji-Wei Yang, who is in his first year as the Vice Dean of the College of Engineering. He was previously the chair of the Material Science and Engineering Department. Also joining us is Tone Xian, the newly appointed Associate Dean for Medical Technology and Innovation, a new joint position between the College of Engineering and the School of Medicine. She is also a professor of ophthalmology and the medical director of the UW Medicine Eye Institute.
Hi, Dean Allbritton. Let's jump right into the question that I have for you today. Many people have submitted questions for our speakers around what the College of Engineering is doing in the diversity, equity, inclusion, and sovereignty space, or DEIS space. In addition to being the right thing to do, we know that diverse groups are much more successful. Can you talk about the DEIS work underway in the College of Engineering and future plans?
Absolutely. Thank you, Jan. So we in the college are really striving to become culturally competent. And that means we want to reflect the DEIS values across all aspects of the college. From education to learning to research to service to partnerships. It's really going to be who and what we are. We have a community of faculty and staff and students, and we want their diversity to reflect society's diversity. We also want a place where everyone is valued and feels welcome and thrives. We also want to create more capacity so that we can be a more equitable institution. So that goes to effect with our partnerships, with foundations, with outside entities, all the relationships we build. We want to build this capacity into the college. We're doing a lot of things to try and meet all of these goals. For example, we just hired a new Associate Dean for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Dr. Karen Thomas Brown will be joining us on May 1 from the University of Michigan in Dearborn. Karen is absolutely a multi-talented person. She has degrees in geography, but with a focus on specializing in social and urban structures and how humans, they shape human systems and performance. She's also got a number of certificates in executive leadership, performance leadership, DEI, all from Cornell University. So she's quite talented, and we're most enthusiastic to have her join us. We're really going to leverage her expertise to develop best practices and guidelines for the college and really begin to transform the college from top to bottom around diversity, equity, and inclusion. But that's not the only thing we're doing. We've got many other efforts going on. For example, we're educating leadership on racism, bias, and inequity. We've updated our hiring process so that we ensure equitable and fair searches and really a diverse pool of candidates from which to choose from. We're also working with an outside consultant who's going to come in and look at the college from top to bottom with a specific focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion. And the goal is that the consultant will be helping us to design a comprehensive work plan with milestones and metrics that then begin to execute on. So again, quite exciting. We're also working with the Office of Minority Affairs and Diversity and also with Student Life to better leverage the university's central bias reporting tool. So when either students, faculty, or staff encounter concerns, they can report them and then we can quickly respond and act on that. Finally, one of the things I'm most excited about with respect to diversity, equity, inclusion is a bold strategic plan we're beginning to develop. Embedded throughout that plan will be diversity and equity inclusion, so it's a layer in our fabric. It's going to set the college's direction and focus and our priorities for the next 5 years. One of the things we want to do is identify the College of Engineering's competitive advantages. Where can we really outperform all other colleges to bring value to our students, faculty, and the people of the state? How can we make the greatest impact on engineering education? We want our students to really get the best education so that they succeed now and in the future. We also want to provide innovative solutions to meet society's grand challenges and make sure our students are educated and have the skills to go out and tackle these big problems. This will serve as a guide for resource allocation, our educational and research planning and priorities, our fundraising efforts, hiring priorities, and really how we spend our time and energy. We've developed 7 themes. Some of them are really quite exciting. For example, engineering for social good, educational innovation, research, collaborations and partnerships, making wise use of our resources that we do have, and then, of course, diversity, equity, inclusion, and sovereignty. We're iterating on plans of this draft. We're going to take the draft out shortly to the College of Engineering community. And one thing I want to say is that the students have been a part of our strategic planning from the top to bottom and are providing us great feedback now. So once we're ready, we'll share that with everyone, but it's going to be quite exciting, I think.
Thank you so much for that information, Dean Allbritton. As a student, I'm really excited and glad to learn how the college will support diverse student populations and ensure a positive experience for all.
Thank you, Jan, for throwing it back to me. Now we have Associate Dean Ratner, and I have a few questions submitted from the audience from earlier. So for me personally, COVID has been a pretty mixed experience. On one hand, I've been able to receive a lab kit for my department for my classes and actually have some hands-on experience with a FPGA development board, which was pretty cool. My labs have been pretty, going pretty well with being able to meet over Zoom and still get all of our work done. And I gotta say, my professors have put in a lot of work to make sure that we're still learning, and they're doing a lot of good things behind the scenes that even students don't even see. That being said, I still miss out on a lot of the social aspects that I'm used to that comes with campus life. So Associate Dean Ratner, can you tell us what the student's experience has been more broadly across the college?
Thanks, Eugene. This is a terrific question, and I appreciate you talking about your own experience. You know, as you all know, we pivoted into remote learning and teaching at the end of winter quarter and beginning of spring in 2020. And I really should start by thanking just the incredible effort of students such as yourself and all the students in the college, as well as our staff and faculty, who've been going through just an extraordinary effort in making this university work and making the college work and trying to make sure that we can preserve that experience for our students and recognize also the many families that we have and the burden that they've also borne in supporting their students during this time as we've been working remotely. Until it's safe to come back together, of course, our faculty and staff are focused on making sure that we can commit ourselves to supporting our students' learning and making sure that we can provide that balanced, well-rounded education and do so safely. That is absolutely critical. You know, we do still have labs going on with a few operating in person. Many, like you experienced, would take a lab and provide resources that could be sent home and kits for the students to work on remotely. And this has turned into an opportunity for faculty and staff staff to look for creative solutions for both delivering labs and lectures remotely and learning how to use technology. It's actually been incredibly exciting to see the uses of technologies and light boards that faculty have used to really transform how they deliver content to students. And I think we're going to see as an institution, as a college, that this opportunity with technology will affect how we deliver learning in the future when we are back on campus in the next coming quarter. Due to the shifts to direct admissions to the college, this is direct to college, we've also seen a significant shift in the college in providing more support and resources for our students. And this has really been a benefit during this time as we're operating remotely during this COVID pandemic. We have students contributing as leaders in the college and supporting our incoming students. We have the engineering peer educators, which are groups of more senior students, sophomores, juniors, and seniors that are serving as leaders in welcoming our incoming freshmen, building community for those students, helping just peer educate them and give them that onboarding, that welcome to the college, and also to have an opportunity for our older students to learn from the experience of sharing and teaching younger students. We have engineering design coaches who are upper class students then that are running design labs and helping our incoming freshmen learn how to think like an engineer when they approach problems, solve problems, develop new solutions, which has been an incredibly exciting collaboration between faculty and staff and students in supporting students during remote learning, using remote labs, using remote access to robots so students can design a program, upload it into a physical robot that then is actually running these executed controls remotely. So we've been looking again at how we can pull together and do this. I want to really acknowledge the incredible effort from our staff as well. We have departmental and college advisors that are working tirelessly to support our students remotely, to meet them in advising sessions one-on-one, running remote sessions for larger groups, running classes online, and helping our students navigate the kind of academic advising that they need. On the purely academic side, we have the Engineering Academic Center, which continues to operate virtually with extended hours. We've actually been able to increase enrollment in our academic support classes for chemistry and physics and math, in part made possible because there's more flexibility in calendaring, and students are also more aware of the resources that we have. And so, ironically, it's been an opportunity to really take advantage of new network communication methods of getting opportunities out to students and helping students take advantage of that. We've also been looking for ways to help students build community, to continue to socialize through study groups and study halls. Departments are running these, the college is running these. We also have our registered student organizations continuing to meet and build community and work with each other. We have the Career Center at the college. This is focused specifically for engineering students, providing virtual remote services on individual appointments, looking at cover letters, looking at resume feedback, doing mock interviews, providing career coach experiences, career exploration, skill development. All this is still happening, and it's all happening remotely. I actually went before this session, I went and looked up some numbers. This autumn, we had the Engineering Career Fair, which was held in partnership with SEBA, which is the Science and Engineering Business Association. We had this year 2,000 Seattle students, UW Seattle students participating with 87 companies. They had over 3,000 one-on-one meetings. They had over 162 info sessions by the companies. This environment has actually been something that we've been able to take advantage of and make more companies available for our students to come and interact with. We also have companies participating in Industry Capstone. Actually, this quarter, right now in the spring, we have over 70 industry-sponsored capstone projects that are both meeting remotely and in person, providing students with real-world problems that our companies are trying to solve as they work together with groups of students in all of our departments to address the needs of the world that engineers can contribute to. Now, we've all heard from President Kause. The University of Washington is not closed. Like I mentioned then, we do still have some labs that are able to meet in person. We have registered student organizations that are meeting in person. We also have our makerspaces that are continuing to operate with reservations. We have student clubs that are meeting. The key being is that all of these groups are meeting with strict safety protocols. They're meeting under their COVID prevention plans to make sure that we avoid inadvertently risking our staff or faculty or students students. That's critical. First and foremost is safety. But the university is open. We remain open. Actually, just today I went and visited one of these spaces to see how it's going, and they've actually rearranged how the space is organized to support in-person activity. This is, in this case, the mill, and all students can go and look the mill up, make a reservation, and use that space and know that they can access that safely. So I think there's just been an incredible transition of the college, which is thanks in no small part to our students, to our staff, and our faculty. And I thank them all for their effort during this time.
Thank you so much for sharing, Associate Dean Ratner. It's really exciting to hear spaces like the mill are still open, because I've used those tools in the past, and it's great that I still have access to them. I'm still really hoping to get back into in-person classes and being able to just, bump into my friends and classmates and, the hallways, and actually have a real, oscilloscope in front of me at the ECE labs. And I definitely know a lot of my fellow classmates and students feel pretty similarly. Can you tell us about what a return to campus will look like in the coming months, and when do you anticipate a full return to campus?
Yeah, it's a terrific question. It's the question that all of us are asking, and I think I speak for so many of us when I say there really is nothing like being together in community on campus and being able to work in teams with each other with your hands, and it's something that we're all looking forward to. Right now, in the spring quarter, we are continuing to offer the vast majority of our courses remotely. Now, this is happening at a time when we are beginning to transition into this new phase as we see more and more of our community members are becoming immunized, and we see that there really is a light at the end of the tunnel. So we're offering more in-person student services and activities during the spring quarter, and this is following the guidance that we're receiving from both the state and the local health authorities. And of course, it goes without saying that any changes that will happen will happen in partnership with the university executive, with leadership on campus, as well as our local health and state authorities here. Instructors do have some more flexibility in offering some optional in-person class-related activities beginning this quarter. This could be, for instance, physically distanced advising. The key being that anything that we do offer this quarter would be truly optional. It's something that has to be something that both the staff and the faculty and the students involved are comfortable in doing, and that no one would be disadvantaged if they're not comfortable or they're not able. We know that many of our students are currently remote. They may not be near the campus and able to come in, and so we want to make sure that anything that we do offer as we go through this transition is done with equity in mind. We want everyone to be able to benefit and not lose out on their education. Now, right now, based on the projections that we see from our health experts, which include experts at the University of Washington, we can say that we are looking forward to welcoming our students back onto campus this autumn quarter. We anticipate that our autumn quarter will be largely run with in-person classes. Now, this, of course, is dependent on things that are outside of our control. It's dependent on the distribution of vaccine, and truly on each of us doing our part in practicing a safe social distance gatherings and not going out there and treating this pandemic as if it's over before it has ended. So wear masks, avoid large gatherings. That's something that we're asking everyone to continue to do. But we fully anticipate that with the trends that we're on, with the work that everyone is doing, that we will be back in person with the vast majority of our classes this autumn quarter. So that question of when can we anticipate, we are all fully committed to making this happen in this autumn quarter based on the guidance that we have from the state, and recognizing, of course, that this is part of the larger university system. So the College of Engineering has plans that will be guided by what our leadership for the university dictate and what the state and local authorities are telling us. We also anticipate then beginning in this autumn to resume study abroad programs for students. And so this next academic year, we expect this to be back online. So we really are looking at the coming academic year 21-22, as being that return to the new normal, which we are all truly looking forward to. Again, I want to mention that we have right now much happening with this phase 3 transition. Like I mentioned, the Career Center, the industry capstones, we are seeing encouraging signs of more and more opportunities for students to participate. So the fall can feel far away, but we do have a transition. We do have more and more in-person opportunities coming up now. And we certainly encourage you in interacting with your departments and interacting with your advisors, with your registered student organizations. If you have questions or concerns, we're here to support you in making this transition.
Well, thank you so much, Associate Dean Ratner. I'm really looking forward to getting back to the labs and also cheering on my favorite basketball team, the UW's men's basketball team. It's a really great way to blow off some steam during midterm season and final season. So it's really exciting to hear all this work going into getting us back on campus. And you mentioned the mask. I misplaced my UW mask, but here it is. Wearing our UW masks, hopefully not backwards, masking up. So thank you so much, Associate Dean Ratner.
Wear that mask. Thank you, Eugene.
All right, back to you, Jan.
Thanks, Eugene. Now I want to ask Vice Dean Yang about research. As I shared earlier, I participated in research projects in the ECE department and in the Engineering, Innovation, and Health program. It's been really helpful to have these experiences to apply knowledge that I've been learning in my classes and also figure out how to work with teams, even if it's virtual. Vice Dean Yang, Associate Dean Ratner, and Dean Allbritton shared that research like this is still happening. But could you give us some more specifics on what this looks like over the past year, especially related to COVID?
Okay, I agree that the research is a real important part of our student experience. The campus labs are still open. They're functioning with safety protocols in place, including maintaining physical and social distancing, cleaning and disinfecting space, and the use of PPE. And these plans are in place for monitoring, reporting, and responding to any incidences that may arise. As this past year have shown us, the college is a real resource in our community and creating solutions to some of the biggest challenges that we face as a society. So in addition to overseeing the research efforts of the college, I'm also responsible for building partnerships across campus and with industry, which helps our students to learn skills after college. I'm pleased to note that the University of Washington is ranked third in the country for the number of startups it generates. And the College of Engineering faculty, postdoc, and students of technology are behind half of all UW startups. Being in Seattle, I believe we're very well positioned for the next big wave in engineering that is going to have a biotech focus. During this time, many of our faculty actually pivoted their research to address the unique challenges brought about COVID-19. For example, in bioengineering department, faculty members pivoted their work in rapid virus testing for the flu to develop rapid tests for COVID-19 that are inexpensive and provide results in hours, not days. They used AI to help healthcare workers to predict which COVID-19 patients are at risk of heart complication. And they developed self-vaccinating biomaterials as a novel vaccine delivery approach. In our civil environmental engineering department, researchers introduced a test system to detect if COVID-19 can be found in wastewater. They collected data to understand how Seattle reacted to the pandemic and what recovery looks like to improve planning for urban resilience. So true to the interdisciplinary culture and nature at the college, many of our projects came from cross-campus partnership. For example, our mechanical engineers and Allen School faculty at the Center for Digital Fabrication, they partnered with UW Medicine to produce PPE, such as facial shields, masks, and the medical gowns for our hospital, while manufacturers were at the time ramping up their production capacity. So there are many more efforts like this happening across college in every department, as a matter of fact. And these are just an example of how college has been a leader in a collaborative and innovative response to COVID-19. Our faculty, students, and postdocs, they are superheroes. They walk on the water during this period.
Thank you, Vice Dean Yang. Research is really one of the most exciting parts of being a student at UW, and I'm glad to hear that it's going strong. Back to you, Eugene.
Thanks again, Jan. Now I have Associate Dean Shen. You are the first joint Associate Dean between the College of Engineering and School of Medicine. Can you tell us a little bit more about your background?
Thank you, Eugene. Good meeting you virtually. Greetings to our students, faculty, alum, family, and friends of the College of Engineering. It is my privilege to serve as your Associate Dean in Medical Technology Innovation, the first position that's created between the College of Engineering and School of Medicine. Both schools have been my home since 2003. Because, Eugene, you asked me about my background, I'd like to share a story with you, which is related to language. I immigrated to the United States with my family as an 18-year-old, speaking only one language, Chinese. Surviving college meant taking a lot of math, physics, computer science courses, as well as studio art courses, while I tried to catch up quickly, English as my second language. I was grateful that I could use the common language of math, science, and art to communicate with my professors and classmates, when my English obviously was insufficient. So I was actually first introduced to medicine during my PhD training in medical engineering and medical physics through a course called Introduction to Clinical Medicine. It gave me a new perspective about the potential impact of my research to patient care. So I continued medical training after my PhD, and I always use the lens of engineer. Even today, I practice medicine with a mindset of an engineer. So similar to learning English as a second language, as a clinician scientist, my ability to be bilingual to communicate with my engineering colleagues has allowed me to establish my research always at the interface of medicine and engineering. I've been very fortunate to work with a lot of brilliant engineering colleagues of mine in research for ophthalmology. For example, earlier in my career, we built the contact lens with wireless sensors to monitor disease like diabetes, and this project continues at Google today. We also create new materials to build artificial cornea to treat global blindness. We use also new technology that understands fundamental properties of cornea using ultrasound and optic imaging tools that's developed by my engineering collaborators. So through this process, we create valuable interdisciplinary training environments for our students and help them to launch successful careers and become leaders in industry, academia, and medicine. So because of this personal experience, I strongly believe building a bridge between college engineering and school of medicine with broad partnership will catalyze innovation and transform healthcare, especially now. COVID pandemic have shown us how interconnected and interdependent we all are as fellow human beings, and how important it is for us to be healthy, both physically and mentally. So while science and technology has produced effective vaccine lightning speed, we also uncovered glaring health disparity in our vulnerable populations. So to respond to COVID, this process ignites a new health era where commitment to health and quality is a must. Medical technology and innovation is critical to solve this global challenge, and engineers are at the heart of this transformation in our human society. So I feel very fortunate to be this part of the very exciting process.
Well, thank you for sharing your story, Associate Dean Shen. It sounds like you're doing a really good work. Can you tell us a little bit on your view on the collaboration between engineering and medicine and what you hope to build between the College of Engineering and the School of Medicine in the next few years?
Yes, as we stand at the beginning of the next health boom, I think UW is poised to take the lead for this transformation. We have awesome College of Engineering, a great medical school, and vibrant and generous and innovative community in Washington State. I think UW has a long history of collaboration between engineering and medicine, dating back to 1967 as the Center of Bioengineering was first established, and now it is our Department of Bioengineering. And UW Medical School is also unique in our nation. We have nearly 30,000 healthcare providers deliver care to our patients around the region and also conduct internationally renowned medical research. In addition, we provide medical education to serve this vast geographic area, which is very special in our country. Our education covers Alaska, Wyoming, Idaho, and Montana in addition to state of Washington. We call this whammy area. So our patient population, therefore, is very diverse from a cultural, ethnic, socioeconomic, and geographic perspective. And these are fertile grounds for engineers to innovate, to test solutions that will help with global impact. So when we combine force for School of Engineering and College Engineering, plus the support of our community, I think the future is boundless. So as your Associate Dean, I will definitely support the existing programs between the engineering school and medicine, and also catalyze new collaborations. I will also formalize connections between the students and faculty between the two schools to create programs for our engineering students to explore clinical medicine, sort of learning a bilingual language in a sense. So I will also advocate and facilitate the combined research efforts to focus on the grand challenges of the future of the healthcare. For example, we want to use data science and artificial intelligence to look at health equity. We would like to use smart devices and to deliver monitor healthcare. And we can also look at ways to engineer and design our molecules to combat disease or to improve health. Through this process of the rapid advancement of the technology innovation, we're speaking a lot of languages: data science, protein design, engineering genetics, population health. In order to prepare our students for the smart workforce in the future, I hope to also help them to discover that we all share a common language of humanity.
That sounds great, and I'm really excited. Thank you again for sharing with us, Associate Dean Shen. I'm personally excited as an electrical engineer because I really want to have a big impact on health, and even my experience as an electrical engineer, I've been able to work at the Institute of Protein Design, which is under the School of Medicine. So I'm really excited to see your work and the collaboration between the College of Engineering and School of Medicine, and thank you again so much for your time. All right, here's back to you, Jan.
And the next question I have for you today is about IEB and facilities. As an engineering peer educator, I've experienced firsthand how tough it was to find an optimal place to meet with the students that I mentor. I found that engineering peer educators are often using random corners of the university, and there just isn't enough space in any of the engineering buildings. I'd really love to see us have dedicated space and interdisciplinary space for freshmen and sophomores that are like them. I was really excited to hear about our plans to extend facilities and address issues like these. Dean Allbritton, can you share more about this work?
Absolutely. And I hear you loud and clear, Jan. The previous dean, Mike Bragg, was also dedicated to supporting our students. Both of us really want to enhance our student experience and give them the great facilities they deserve, the facilities where they can learn, team up, and do great projects together. The state has been very good in investing in the college. Indeed, we've doubled the number of degrees we grant per year, but unfortunately our space has not grown very much. So now we're beginning to address that problem. So we've got to accommodate our past growth, but also our future growth. So we're pretty excited about this because it'll give us an opportunity to also build space that supports modern learning and teaching. So this is space where students can get together and team up. They can work with engineers from other fields, from students with outside of engineering, create all sorts of projects, design and build innovative engineering solutions. So this is going to be quite fun. Most of our buildings were built quite some time ago when engineering education was more about lecturing. So they're really facilities to talk at students, but not allow to really engage them in learning and active learning activities. The college has a long-term plan that I think is quite comprehensive to begin to address some of our facilities and infrastructure needs. We're going to emphasize efficiency, using the spaces we have a lot better, repurposing existing spaces to activities that are more appropriate, renovating some of our really old buildings, and also this includes the construction of 2 new buildings. The first building is, of course, going to be the interdisciplinary engineering building, and most likely a renovation of the mechanical engineering building. The second phase of this project will be a new research building, and again, the renovation of one of our older buildings, Moore Hall. But let me tell you a little bit more about the interdisciplinary engineering building, because it's quite exciting. Not only is it going to give us the modern teaching and learning space we need, but it's going to be a home for our students. Particularly our undergraduate students. They will have one central location that they can call their own. They can go for advising, to find internships, their extracurricular activities, all sorts of really great things I think we can program in for our students. So they're home away from home, so to speak. Not only is it going to meet all these diverse educational needs, but it'll supply the future technology and engineering workers that the state needs to grow itself out of our economic downturn. So not only support for the students, but for the state's economy, and also will provide the workforce that will solve future challenges that occur in the state. And the other thing I'd really like to talk about is the College of Engineering's contribution to the economy of the state. For every $1 that the state has invested in us, we return $6 to the state. So pretty good investment. Our alumni have generated over $14.3 billion over the time of their careers. And I think the parents will like this one the best. The average entry or starting level salary for our graduates is $75,000. Pretty fantastic. The college's economic impact on the state of Washington every year is over $500 million. So I think you can see not only are we going to provide great educational opportunities for our students, but we're going to contribute to the economy of the state in the here and now, and also in the future to help build our state and the region and really serve the citizens of the state.
Thank you so much. Your commitment and the UW's to ensure that students really have that home away from home and adequate space to learn is really affirming, and I can't wait to see the new facility. Thank you again for joining us today, and thank you to our wonderful speakers for all of their insight and the information that they shared. You can look for updates on all of these topics on our website or in the Trend newsletter.
Thank you again for joining us at the Engineering Town Hall. We'll see you next time.